The story of the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center is one of passion, vision, and legacy. To understand how this institution became one of the most respected and influential pigeon centers in the world, we need to travel back nearly a century and dive into the lives of the men who laid its foundation. The origins of a vision. The Descheemaecker family name has been intertwined with pigeon racing and breeding for generations. In Belgium, the cradle of modern pigeon racing, the sport was more than a pastime. It was a way of life. Villages competed, families invested their pride in their birds, and champions became legends. In this vibrant culture, the Descheemaecker brothers saw an opportunity. Their dream was not only to participate in pigeon racing, but to preserve, promote, and professionalize the breeding and distribution of the finest pigeons in the world. It all began in the early 20th century when the family became active in pigeon racing themselves. Over the decades, their fascination with the sport grew, but so did their understanding of its challenges. Many fanciers struggled to access top bloodlines. Quality pigeons were often limited to local exchanges or closely guarded family lofts. The Descheemaeckers envisioned something different. A centralized hub where the best racing pigeons and bloodlines could be gathered, preserved, and made accessible to fanciers worldwide. The birth of the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center. In the years following World War II, Europe was rebuilding and pigeon racing once again flourished. In this context, the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center officially took form. Their mission was clear: to create a breeding station unlike any other, one that would gather elite pigeons from proven fanciers, maintain their quality through careful selection, and share these bloodlines across the world. From the very beginning, the Pigeon Center distinguished itself with a philosophy that combined scientific breeding principles with respect for traditional pigeon racing culture. They understood that champions were not created by chance but by meticulous selection, generation after generation. The center was not simply a loft, it was an institution. They invested in infrastructure, facilities, and above all, in relationships with some of the most iconic pigeon fanciers of the time. Slowly but surely, they began building a collection of pigeons that represented the very best of Belgium's pigeon racing heritage. Famous bloodlines at the heart of the center. What truly set the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center apart was its treasure chest of bloodlines. Over the years, the center acquired and preserved pigeons from legendary fanciers, whose names still resonate today. Among these were the world-famous Janssens of Arendonk, perhaps the most iconic name in pigeon racing history. The Janssen brothers produced pigeons of unparalleled speed and consistency, birds that influenced lofts around the globe. The Descheemaeckers recognized the value of these bloodlines and integrated them into their center, ensuring that fanciers far beyond Arendonk could benefit from this legacy. But the Janssens were not the only jewel in their crown. The center also became home to pigeons from other foundational bloodlines such as Hoben, Van Loon, Meulemans, and Grondelaers. Each family brought unique strengths: speed, stamina, orientation, or resilience. And through careful management, the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center ensured these traits were preserved in their purest form. This commitment to maintaining original, authentic bloodlines earned the center immense respect. At a time when crossbreeding and experimentation sometimes diluted the essence of great families, the Descheemaeckers saw themselves as guardians of tradition. They safeguarded the heritage of the sport for future generations. The influence of the Descheemaecker family was not limited to their lofts. In 1946, they launched the pigeon magazine Het Duifje, which, quickly became one of the most important publications in the pigeon world. Through Het Duifje, fanciers could read about the latest results, learn breeding and racing tips, and discover the stories behind great champions. The magazine gave the sport a voice and a platform, connecting pigeon fanciers from all over Belgium and beyond. It wasn't just a magazine, it was a lifeline for the community. At a time when there was no internet and communication was limited, Het Duifier brought knowledge, inspiration, and news straight into the hands of pigeon enthusiasts. Over time, the magazine became more than just a publication. It became part of the identity of the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center itself. The family had found a way not only to breed and sell pigeons, but also to educate and unite the global pigeon racing community. Another reason the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center became legendary was its role as an exporter of Belgian pigeons worldwide. From the mid-20th century onwards, the center began shipping pigeons to fanciers across Europe, Asia, the Americas, and beyond. In countries like Taiwan, China, Japan, and the Middle East, pigeon racing was booming, and fanciers were eager to import authentic Belgian bloodlines. The Descheemaeckers became a trusted source, known for their honesty, reliability, and the proven quality of their birds. This global influence cannot be overstated. Many of today's top lofts in Asia and other continents trace their foundations back to pigeons obtained through the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center. By making Belgian champions accessible worldwide, the center played a pivotal role in transforming pigeon racing from a European tradition into a global sport. The philosophy of selection and quality. At the heart of the center's success lay its uncompromising philosophy of selection. Not every pigeon could carry the Descheemaecker name, you know. Only those that met the highest standards of performance, health, and lineage were kept for breeding. The family understood that pigeon racing is a sport of small margins. Just a fraction of a second could separate a champion from the rest. That's why they focused on maintaining purity of bloodlines while also ensuring vitality and adaptability. Their motto was clear: quality over quantity. While other lofts might boast of huge numbers, the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center prided itself on breeding fewer pigeons but of a consistently high standard. As the decades passed, the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center continued to evolve. Today it remains one of the most respected names in pigeon racing. The center is still active in breeding, selling, and exporting pigeons worldwide, and it continues to honor the traditions set forth by its founders. Modern technology has allowed the center to expand its reach even further. Through its website and online platforms, the center showcases its bloodlines, shares information, and connects with fanciers across the globe. The spirit of Het Duifier lives on, now in digital form, ensuring that the flow of knowledge and community continues in the 21st century. The center also remains deeply connected to Belgian pigeon culture. It works with local fanciers, supports events, and keeps alive the tradition of pigeon racing as a national passion. At the same time, it embraces the internationalization of the sport, recognizing that pigeon racing is no longer just a Belgian phenomenon, but a worldwide movement. The legacy of the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center is immense. For more than 75 years, it has preserved some of the most important pigeon bloodlines in history. It has educated fanciers through its magazine and outreach, exported thousands of pigeons to strengthen lofts around the world, maintained a reputation for honesty, professionalism, and quality. Countless champions in different countries carry the blood of Descheemaecker pigeons. Entire lofts have been built upon the foundation of birds obtained from the center. And perhaps most importantly, the Descheemaeckers have helped ensure that pigeon racing remains vibrant, connected, and respected across generations. The Descheemaecker Pigeon Center is not just a loft or a breeding station. It is a symbol of what passion, vision, and dedication can achieve. It represents the idea that pigeon racing is not merely about winning races, but about building legacies, preserving heritage, and connecting people across cultures and continents. As we look at the history of this remarkable institution, we see more than just pigeons. We see the story of a family that turned their love for a sport into a global influence. We see the story of bloodlines that continue to inspire. And we see the story of a community that, thanks to the Descheemaecker Pigeon Center, feels just a little bit closer together. The pigeons may fly across the skies of Belgium, Taiwan, or America, but their roots trace back to the lofts of the Descheemaeckers, a testament to the enduring legacy of one of the greatest pigeon centers the world has ever known.